Okay, let's just check the tech and make sure I'm in the right place. Oh, looks like it. That's good. Lovely. If you're joining me for April's monthly card club, please say hi in the comments so that I know I'm in the right place and I know who's here as well. That would be lovely. Thank you. Hi Liz. Hi Liz. Oh, brilliant. Must be in the right place then. It's all happening. Fabulous. Fabulous. Good, good, good. Well, we've got a bumper session tonight. So I've got an enormous mug of tea. Not my usual little Stampin' Up mug, but I've got a massive great mug of tea. So I hope you have plenty of refreshments to sustain you as well. If you've just joined, please say hi in the chat so I know who's here. That would be great. I'm also hoping my voice holds out as well, because it comes and goes at the moment, so I'm hoping that it holds out. Hi Sheena, hiya. So glad you can join us. I'll wait till a few more people, till the numbers go up a little bit more and we've got a few more. If you're joining me now, just say hi, because I've got a few bits of notices to give out before we start crafting. And if you haven't had a chance, then there's still time to grab the things you need. Hi Dee. So you will need really basic kit tonight, but you'll need some stamps that you can kind of do some scenery and landscapes with. So some birds flying in the sky. I've used a windmill on one of my cards, a sailing boat, some trees, that kind of thing. But quite small landscape type stamps. Cares, hiya! Oh, and you've got Jan there as well. Oh, fabulous. Okay, so you're going to have dinner and then come back. Wonderful. We will see you both later. Hi, Audrey. Hiya. That's brilliant. See, the numbers are chugging up now, so we'll just hang on a few more minutes while people join us. And then we'll get on with the notices. Hi, Louise. Hi, Julie. Fantastic. Loads of people joining. This is great. Really, really good. Okay. So just saying, if you want to get any bits of kit ready, then you just need some stamps that can create a bit of a landscape for you in terms of the things that you would see on the landscape. So I've used some birds flying in the sky, and by birds I mean the little V bird shape, not a whole bird, that would be too big. It's literally something to put in the sky. And some small trees, a little sailing boat, houses, anything like that. Hi Jodie. So if you want to get stuff, if you're going to craft along with me, then you'll just need a few little bits and pieces like that, that's all. And some colours. So the colours that I have got tonight, if you're still getting kit out, are Rich Razzleberry, so it's like a purpley kind of pinky colour. Misty Moonlight, which is a nice blue. This is the one that's leaving us in a few days' time, because it's one of the in colours that's going. Garden Green, or you might have Evening Evergreen card in your kit, so you might want to use that instead. I've got Garden Green in mine. I ran out of Evening Evergreen halfway through prepping this kit, so and you'll need something to cut your card and your papers with, and some adhesives. That's pretty much it, really. We won't be, for obvious reasons, we won't be able to make all 8 projects. I won't be able to demonstrate all 8 projects live tonight, but that won't be a problem, because it'll all make itself clear as we're going along. You'll know what you're doing with all 8 by the end, and we will do all the technical ones together, so do not worry. Okay, looks like numbers are starting to stabilise a bit, so let's get cracking on the news. So let's give you the news items first. So where are we? Thanks for joining me, first of all, for the last workshop for April, which has been Double Up month. It's been lovely to see how much you've embraced it. We've had People coming back to Card Club that that haven't been to Card Club for a little while, which has been wonderful to see your faces. We've had new people coming. We've had non-crafters coming and joining us to do a bit of crafting. That's been really wonderful. And everybody's been taking advantage of all the great offers. So really pleased to see that, and I'm really pleased you've enjoyed it. So thank you for that. So tonight's double up offer, you probably already saw, mine's in a recycled envelope, but your kit, which will look something like this, is absolutely enormous. You've got full-size sheets of cardstock. You've got a quarter of a pack of designer series patterned papers. Hi, Mum. You've got envelopes, you've got ribbon, you've got four different kinds of ribbon, actually, because you've got twine as well, baker's twine. So you've got loads and loads of stuff in your kit. Your raffle ticket as usual. You've got some of the slim envelopes. Basically, you've got way too much kit for what you're going to need to make tonight's projects. So there is another little bonus in store for you. When we finish tonight, I have already recorded and scheduled on the YouTube channel, which you can find from any of the clickable links on any of my social medias and emails and all the rest of it. So just go search. But you will find a pre-recorded video which uses some more of the kit that you've got in your pack. So it is to make that card there, which I have another one here I will show you. It will be backwards, the sentiment will be backwards, but this is the kit, the card that it makes. It's called a variegated panel card. Hi, Amber. So this will be available, all the instructions, the measurements, the cutting guide, and a video of how to make it is all available on the YouTube channel after this workshop finishes tonight. So when you feel like going back to these papers again another day and you're not sure what to make, click on there. It looks like a really technical, complicated card. It's really not. There's lots of cutting. But once you've done the cutting, it's just sticking it all on, and it's really easy. So yeah, it's called a variegated panel card. So I hope you enjoy that and have lots of fun. And I would love to see if you have a go at it and make it, please, 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 please post photos so I can see, or send me photos of your cards so that I can post them and share with everybody. So that would be great. Okay, so you've got double the amount of product in your kit. You've also got the chance to win double prizes tonight as well. So everybody who wins a raffle prize tonight will not only win a normal raffle prize, where we have a choice of various different products, and they're all relevant to tonight's workshop as well, but you'll also win one of these lovely packs of 6x6 patterned papers. This is a sample pack from the existing annual catalogue. So there is something in here, look, from every one of the different kinds of patterned papers that there are in this current annual catalogue. So the one that is retiring, the one that's finishing, there's all of these beautiful papers. There's black and whites in there to colour, there's flowers, there's dots, spots, stripes, you name it, there's everything. So everybody who wins tonight will also win one of those massive great stacks of patterned paper packs, as well as your existing prize. So that's another one. We've talked about the video on YouTube. So other bit of news, the last chance sale. So all the things that are going from this annual catalogue. So the annual catalogue finishes on Monday, and it finishes at 10 to 5 on Monday night. And then the new catalogue starts on Tuesday morning. So there will be things that we won't have in the next catalogue that are your favourites in this catalogue. And a lot of those are on sale at the moment. Some of them are up to 50–60% off. So if you've not looked through the sale yet, the last chance sale, then do go on to the shop and have a look and see if there's anything on there that you really want. And I'll give you the heads up now as well. If you need card inks, if you need basics, because of everything with the global shipping issues and the general cost of living rises and things, there is a small increase on quite a few things in the next catalogue. It's not loads. Some things I didn't even really notice, to be honest, but there is a small increase on some of the basics. So if you need basics, it might be time to do a quick shop before Monday. And don't forget, if you're shopping, please use the host code so that I can make sure that you get the prize for that, because everybody who uses the host code gets extra prizes. Okay, so yeah, so the new catalogue starts on Tuesday. And so the final event of Double Up April month is my sale on Saturday morning. So hopefully anyone who's on the mailing list will already have got the details of the sale. It's here at my house in Lechlade in Gloucestershire. And it is from 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm expected to be all wrapped up by 12 o'clock. So, and I will have all of my retired stock out for sale at less than the original price. And I've got stock not just from this year, I've got stuff from last year and previous years and things. All Stampin' Up stuff. I've got everything. I've got stamps, dies, punches, embossing folders, papers, cardstock. I've got ink pads, pens, you name it, I've got it. So it's all going to be sold, and the buy one get one free element is that for however much you spend in the sale, whatever you spend in the sale, so say for example you spend £30 in the sale, you buy £30 worth of sale stuff, you will have £30 from me to spend in the brand new catalogue, and you will need to give me your order by the end of the weekend. So to help you with that, one moment, I have prepared for everybody who comes to the sale a catalogue pack. So if you live too far away to come to the sale, or you're just not free or whatever, you will get one of these in the post. Everybody who's been to a workshop with me or ordered from me in the last 6 months will get one of these packs. You get the new annual catalogue. It's fabulous. There's a letter in there from me that tells you all about the workshops I've got coming up, and some top tips on the things that I really love about this catalogue. Here are the new in colours. Don't know if you can see those. New in colours there, which you've got on a bookmark. Bar of chocolate to keep you going, keep your crafting strength up. And sample of the new Tea Boutique, it's called. Tea Boutique Suite, which is one of the first suites we're going to use. New cardstock, new pretty glittery, ribbony loveliness. And there's a nice boutique tea bag inside to help you. So you can relax with your cup of tea, your bar of chocolate, and flick through the catalogue and mark the pages that you like best with the bookmark. So yeah, so all in there. So anybody who comes on Saturday will be getting one of those to help them with their decision-making process on what they want to spend their money on, that's equivalent to whatever they've bought in the sale. So that's that. If you're coming to the sale, there will be tea, coffee, loads of homemade cakes, because Mum's bringing some cake. I'm going to make some cake. Evelyn might possibly make some cake. I don't know. She's sort of lying on her deathbed at the moment. She's got a throaty thing, so I don't know if she'll make cake or not. Maybe might be better if she doesn't make cake, frankly. Anyway, and also I've made loads. I don't know if you can see in there. Where can I get my finger? There we go. In that box on the corner there, you won't be able to see all the detail yet, but there are loads and loads of project samples in there. So I've been busy making things, because as a demonstrator we get to access the new products from the new catalogue early. So I've bought lots of things and I've made loads of things. So you'll be able to see samples from the new catalogue as well, not just of the product, but actually of projects that I've made with them. I think you're going to love them. The new colours are just gorgeous, and there's some beautiful new papers and something for everybody. Not lots of hearts and flowers this time, so really nice, different. And if you just want to come along for coffee and cake and a chat and you don't want to buy anything, that's fine too. Be lovely to see people. Yeah, so let's go on with some crafting, shall we? Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around, and I will show you the projects first, and some of it will start to make sense then about why we're not able to make all of them tonight, but you'll still be okay with them. And then I'll show you where they've come from in the catalogue so that you can see where the products are, should you want any. And we'll get on and start making. Okay, let's put some extra light on the scene for starters. So I'm going to turn you around. There we go. Right. There we go. Okay. And do feel free to keep chatting to me in the chat, because I've got my laptop in front of me, as you will have just seen as we swiveled around there. So yeah, so this is going to be project number 1 that we're going to do tonight, and it's a pack of 4 cards. Hence, we are not going to need to make all 4 tonight, because you have got enough kit in your kit bag to make all 4, but I will demonstrate 1 tonight, and then you can make the other 3 in your own time. So that's going to be project number 1 tonight, is going to be the little pack of 4 cards. Right, let's find project number 2. And this one goes together with another one, hence why it will make sense. So project number 2 is one of these are our slimline envelopes that you can find in the mini catalogue. They come in 3 different colours. So you may have this greeny colour, white, or a grey. There's 3 different colours. Hopefully you can see everything's in shot there. So we've got this slimline card. Apparently slimline cards are all the rage at the moment. So this one we're going to make, and with a similar piece of paper, hence why we won't be making everything, you're going to be making its sister, which is a bookmark that goes with it. And then we've got a nice little technique card for project number 7. So project number 7 is another slimline card, and it's really, really small slimline actually, because it's a concertina card. There we go. So it just folds out like that in a concertina. So that's project number 7, and then project number 8 is a little gift tag. And the gift tag is made in exactly the same way as the bookmark, it's just on a smaller scale. So again, you'll be able to, we won't make this one together tonight. You will be able to make it in your own time. If you're not a fan of using gift tags, you can still make the gift tag up and mount it on the front of a card. So you could put a piece of patterned paper and mount it on the front there as the front of your card if you wanted. So gift tags can be used in all kinds of ways. They don't have to be used on a present. So you've got that option too. Okay, so that is what we are going to be doing. Hi Carol, hi. Carol's watching, that's great. Okay, so let's get rid of things and let's start with the set of 4 cards. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be showing you what you can do with these beautiful papers that you can find in the mini catalogue. So that's this one, the one with the windmill on the front. On page 42 and 43, it's called the New Horizons Suite Collection. And I'll be really honest with you, when I got this catalogue, this isn't the first thing that I opened and turned to and thought, oh, I've got to have that. But I have seen so many beautiful projects made with this that I just couldn't resist in the end. You know, you hold out for so long, don't you? And you think, no, I've got to have a go with it. So we're going to be using the papers from the suite. You've also got some of the ribbon from the suite as well, but we're particularly going to be focusing on the papers. And the reason we're going to focus on the papers is because you can stamp on them and they make beautiful pictures, beautiful landscapes. So you can see, if you look at this card in the middle here, this is additional stamping. And it means that you can use pretty much any of your stamp sets that you've got already in your stash, which is great. So I will show you some of the ones that I'm going to be using in a moment. But to start with, we're going to make this little set of cards. And they all come out of a single sheet of the patterned paper that you've got in your kit. You have to excuse the size of these cards as well. These are meant to be the same size. I don't know what I was thinking when I was measuring the card and cutting it, because clearly I did not cut it at the same. And I did the same on both, look, on the pale papaya and on the old olive. Goodness only knows what I was thinking when I was doing that. They're meant to be all the same size. Never mind. Promise I hadn't had anything to drink before I started this. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to be doing, is making this set of 4. So the first thing that you need to do is to get your card base. So you should have in your kit a whole piece of Old Olive, which is this bright green card, and a whole piece of Pale Papaya card, which is this kind of pale orangey colour. So it's a whole sheet of A4. And I know you've got some big sheets of card in your packs and you've got some small sheets of card in your pack. These are the 2 full A4 sizes that you want. You can cut them at the same time if you've got a trimmer, a stamping trimmer, or a scoreboard and cutting board, because the blades will cope with it. They are sharp enough. And I'm going to show you how I make my card bases. Because I make really quick and easy card bases, I use the whole sheet of A4 card. I don't believe in wasting any card at all, so I don't waste any card at all. I use the whole sheet. And because my cards are generally the kind of standard book orientation, let me get this right, Kez, portrait. Oh, look at me. Then I score them first and then I cut them in half. So I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way. I'm putting the short side of the A4 in the trimmer, and I'm going to score at 10.5 centimetres, which is 4 1/8 of an inch, if you're in inches, but 10.5 centimetres, and I score all the way down. And this is going to give me 2 card bases. I then put the long side in and I'm cutting at 14.9 centimetres, which is 5 7/8 of an inch. So 14.9 centimetres or 5 7/8 of an inch. And I'm cutting all the way through, and look, hey presto, now I've got 2 perfect card bases out of 1 sheet of A4 cardstock. So really super quick and easy. And that is how I make every single one of my basic card bases. So all the ones that you've ever had in your kits that have been pre-scored and pre-cut, that is how I've made them. Quick and easy like that. Really quick and easy. So I will just use one, obviously, of mine for the time being. Let me just get my, don't have my bone folder. There we go. So I'm just going to level them up and just crease the spine there. Who's crafting along tonight while I have a quick slurp of my tea? Who's crafting with me and who's watching and going to craft later? And I'm going to get out my complete pack of papers. All of my patterned papers, because then I can show you, for those of you who haven't got a kit, you will be. Oh, Mum is, oh my goodness, everybody is. Liz is, Dee is, Julie is, oh my goodness, wonderful, 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 good, okay. So for those of you who didn't get a kit this time, you're just watching, which is absolutely fine, and this is what you're missing out on. All of these amazing papers. Look at them, hundreds of pieces of paper. They are absolutely beautiful. They are all wonderful watercolour, kind of landscapey looking artists drawn. Audrey is cool on the one side, and then on the reverse side you've got a whole range of single colours, a few kind of mixed patterns. They're all watercolour, kind of artist impression type papers. They're absolutely stunning and beautiful. Some of them have got a little bit more intention. Like, to me, that looks like kind of, I don't know, mountain houses or something, or mountains or something on a lake. But, you know, some of them are completely random like that, that you can add whatever you want to. So anyway, out of your pack of patterned papers, for this particular 4-pack of cards, I mean, you could use whatever you wanted, but I have chosen this piece of paper. And the way to recognise it is it's got these pretty little flowers added in the bottom 2 corners. So that's what you're looking for if you're going to choose the same piece of patterned paper as me, okay? Okie dokie. Right, I need to get my book because I have written down all the measurements for you. I'm so good to you, honestly. I wrote all the measurements in inches and in centimetres today to make sure that I could give you all the measurements exactly. Aren't I kind? Okay, so this piece of patterned paper, to make your 4 cards, and because of the design of this patterned paper, where you've got kind of what I think looks like hills, goes quite far up, and also what could be sky, but also could be a lake or something. We're going to chop this into 4, literally cut it into 4 equal squares to make your 4 separate cards. So as these are 6 by 6 inch papers, you're going to cut them at 3 inches and 3 inches. Or if you're in centimetres, they're going to be cut at 7.6 centimetres each. So down the middle. So you've got 2 pieces. And then, because I am incredibly daring, I'm going to stack them together for quickness and cut them up 3 inches again. So you've got 3-inch squares. So let's put them back together so you can see how they fitted together. Oop, can I get them apart even? There we go. Is that the right way around? Yeah. So that is how the paper looked originally. I think that's the right way around, or maybe they're the other way around. That's better, isn't it? That makes more sense. You can tell I'm rubbish at jigsaws. I frustrate everybody at Christmas because I'm so rubbish at jigsaws. Anyway, there we go. So that's what your original piece looked like. And all we've done is cut it into 4 equal squares. So 3 inches and 3 inches. Or, what did I say it was? 7.6 centimetres and 7.6 centimetres. Okay. Once you've got those 4 squares, you just take each square at a time. So I'm going to just pile them up in the corner. And you need a layer for that square. So you will either have a layer of this colour, which is Evening Evergreen, which is this nice dark green colour, which picks up the dark greens in the reeds and things. Or you will have the colour that I've got in my pack, if I can find it, which is Garden Green, which is just a little bit brighter, but that is another one of the colours that's in the pictures, in the actual patterned papers, okay? And you are going to need to cut, obviously, in total 4 squares, but each square will need to be 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, or if you're in centimetres, it's 8.2 centimetres by 8.2 centimetres. So I'm going to just do 1 for now, so that I can show you how to make up 1. I'm going to get rid of the rest of those, and I will make all mine up later, I promise you. And then that is your matte layer. So you literally just stick your patterned paper to your matte layer of card, and because this is a pack, so like a set, I might give this as a gift, or I might make a gift box or something to go with this. You don't have to, obviously, but that's how I might give them. So I'm going to, and I have with mine, stuck them all flat down onto the front of the card. I haven't put any dimension behind any of these. Now, obviously you can if you want to, but I haven't because of what I want to use them for. But if you were going to send them individually, then absolutely you could. So absolutely no stamping on this bit, just sticking it in the top half centre of my card. There we go. And then I'm going to add a sentiment to the bottom. So in your pack of card, you will also have 1 complete sheet of white cardstock, at least. In fact, you should have 2 sheets of white cardstock, beg your pardon. But what you will need to determine is the weight of the card and the thickness of the card, because you've got one piece that is very thick, or that is thick cardstock. Don't stamp on that one. You want to stamp on the thin one, the one that's more flexible and is easier to stamp on. Well, it's designed for stamping on rather than as a card base. It's thinner than the coloured card. That's the one you want for sentiments and things, because the thick piece we're going to use later for that concertina card, and that concertina card needs the strength of the thick cardstock. So don't be tempted to use it on any stamping, or get kind of confused with it for any stamping. Okay, so I am going to show you what stamps I've chosen now. So I have chosen for my sentiments Biggest Wish, because it's one of my absolute favourites at the moment. And also I've chosen it because the stamps themselves, if I can find my blocks, I did put out a load of blocks, just not, oh, there they are. The stamps themselves are, scissors on the floor, completely square, so they're really, really easy to cut out. You don't need to put a punch or a die or anything like that. You can just cut them with scissors actually, or a trimmer. Just makes life so much easier. So I'm just going to do a thanks on mine, because I need loads of thank you cards always. And so I'm just going to use, again, the garden green. Could have used Old Olive as I'm stamping on white if I wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to use garden green. I'm going to try and get it right in the corner there so that it's really easy for me to cut out. Just hold it down for a few minutes. Stamps that are a bit bigger, it's always good to kind of just hold them in place for a bit and let the ink actually absorb into the paper before you start to kind of take them off. So yeah, and as I said, because that is just so easy, I'm going to cut it out a little bit, and then I'm going to trim it on the trimmer to make it. Do you know what? I don't think I'm going to actually. I'm just going to cut it by eye. God, this is daring, isn't it? Just going to cut it by eye. There we go. I'll save the rest of that white for later. I haven't got my bin out either. Let's have a bin here. I've got a very full bin because I think I'll start another one, a small one. I was fiddling about with things earlier on and made a lot of mess. And then in exactly the same way that I did with the picture, the patterned paper, I'm going to use another piece of card in the same garden green and just mount that up on a mat as well. So mats are just the coloured layers. If you're thinking terminology wise, what the hell's a mat? The mat is just the coloured layer that goes behind your stamped image or your patterned paper. And again, because it's all nice and square and easy, I am just going to freehand cut it. Goodness me, we're being daring tonight. It's because I'm so precise with the measurements, you see, of my knowing the inches and the centimetre measurements for the rest of the card. So, oops, glue's got stuck there. There we go. And that goes kind of in the centre bottom half of the card. And that's it. Really, really quick and simple, that card. And if you think you can make 4 production line, if you like, all in one go, it's a fantastic way to cut up and use, you know, that whole phrase that we're always talking about, love it, chop it. Chopping up your patterned papers and just using them as they are in their beautiful existing state, not having to add anything at all, makes a beautiful quick card. So that's the first of our set of 4. As I said, I'm not going to make all 4 up. I will leave you to make the other 3. And that's our first project done. So let's have a raffle prize while you are all catching up. How's everybody doing? Are you keeping up with me? Have a quick slurp of my tea. So the other thing you get if you get a kit for this class is you have a raffle ticket, and today's raffle prizes are a whole pack of the beautiful New Horizons Designer Series paper. So this comes with 48 sheets. So you've got 12 sheets in your kit. You should have 12 sheets, I think, in your kit. And this will give you 48. So you've got, 4 of each type of paper, each piece of, each pattern. So tons of paper. A whole pack of slimline envelopes. So there's 15 in a pack. And so you've got some green ones, some grey ones, and some white ones. So you can have this. These are the choices for raffle prizes. So a pack of New Horizons paper, a pack of slimline envelopes, or an Art in Bloom stamp set. So let's have a look. Who is our first raffle winner going to be? And it is going to be number 470. So who is 470? Let me know if that's your number and tell me which raffle prize you would like. And don't forget, you will also get a stack of papers as well as your second raffle prize. So who is number 470? Please tell me if you've got 470. Meanwhile, I will just clear the decks a little bit because I've got a bit of stamping chaos going on here at the minute. Just a tad. There we go. So anybody want to own up to 470? Oh, I really hope that the raffle prize winners are here with us tonight. So I really want to give people prizes tonight. It's not Amber. She's got a sad face. 470. Anybody want to confess? Come on. Must belong to somebody. Okay, I'm going to stick it on my camera stand and hope that by the end of the evening someone has either joined us or remembered that they've got 470. So I'll put the prizes out the way for the time being. Okay, so if you are ready to go on to our second project, give me some thumbs up while I find our second project, which is going to be the slimline card. So we'll do this one next, I think. Yep, fab. Good, good, good. So you're going to need a little bit of stamping for this one. You're going to need to do a little bit of stamping. Brilliant. Good. You might not have finished all 4 of that first card. That's absolutely fine. That's not the intention at all. There's sort of more to do in your own time with this class, because to fit it all in the time frame, there was never going to be a chance that unless you wanted to be here till 10 o'clock tonight, we were never going to be able to do all of the projects. So yeah, that's how it is, unfortunately. Right, so for this next one, you are going to need your sheet of Misty Moonlight cardstock. And for this one, I have used the piece of patterned paper that looks like that. So it's the one that looks like, as I said, I think it looks like, I don't know, Swiss chalets or something, or mountains and a lake. It's got a beautiful kind of purpley, yellowy, swirly, beautiful sky. I think it's sky anyway. And what I think is a lake in front. and then these kind of like mountains come houses, come chalets, come something or other in the middle there. So that's the piece that I'm going to use next. Okay, and we're going to stamp on it. So my card, you can stamp whatever you want on yours. Depends what the watercolour says to you, really, I think, in terms of a scene, as to what you feel you want to put on that scene. To me, because I feel it's a lake, I've put some sailing boats and some birds flying in the sky on mine. But you may see something completely different in this image, and you may want to do something else with it. You may want to turn it completely upside down and use it the other way around. I don't know, but it's completely up to you. But we're going to use this piece of paper, this piece of patterned paper, and it's going to make 2 projects out of it, because half of the patterned paper is going to be used on the card, and the other half we're going to use on the bookmark. So let's put the actual sample to one side a minute, and we'll put our patterned paper to one side. And I'll go back to my measurements again. Let's get those out of the way a minute. The raffle prizes. Right, where are my measurements? So we need it's going to be the full width of the A4 card is going to be the height of the card. So let me bring it in so it makes sense. So can you see the full width of the card is the height of the card? So you don't need to cut anything off of that. So what you need to do is, with the long side of A4 at the top, so measuring along the long side of A4, we're going to measure 6.5 inches or 16.4 centimetres. I'm going to need to get my extra arm out for this on my scoreboard. So it's 16.4 or 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches or 16.4 centimetres. Let's get that out of the way. And this piece of the discarded piece, you're going to need that in a moment for your bookmark. So put that to one side, save it, don't lose it, because you're going to need it. And then once you've got that card cut to 6.5 inches or 16.4 centimetres with the full width of the A4 as the height of the card, you're going to move it along and you're going to score it in half. So you're scoring the 6.5 inch side that you've just cut, the 16.4 centimetre side that you've just cut. So you're scoring at 3.25 inches. So just scoring it in half. So 3.25 inches or 3.25 inches is 8.2 and a bit centimetres. The great thing about scoring the centre line on a card, and if you go to a shop and buy a card, you'll be able to see this, because this is how professional cards, you know, that are commercially made cards are made. You won't have an exact match. The score line is never in the very centre of the card, because if the sides, when you fold them over and crease, if they completely met exactly, then you would never be able to get the card open in the first place. So they are all made and designed to have a minuscule overlap. So do not worry if you've got a little bit of an overlap. My overlap comes underneath, which you probably can't see, but it's just poking out underneath. And that is absolutely fine. I think the bigger side is generally on the front, actually, the slightly bigger side, so that when you lift it, you're kind of lifting up the front section. But that's how it's meant to be. So never feel cross with yourself if you haven't got an exact match as you score it, because that is okay. Very professional, as it happens. Okay, so let's just go back on that a moment. So you are using the full width of the A4 sheet and cutting along the long side of A4. You're cutting at 6.5 inches or 16.4 centimetres. And then you're scoring that card in half. So, and you're scoring it in half on the 6.5 inch or 16.4 centimetre line. So you're scoring at 8.2 centimetres or 3¼ inches. Okay, just have a quick slurp of tea while anybody does that. And then we're going to cut up our patterned paper. So if you're doing the same kind of design as me, then you're going to need your Swiss chalets and the lake at the bottom, because you're going to be cutting in half down the middle of your Swiss chalet. So you're cutting in half at 3 inches, or what did we say 3 inches was? 7.6 centimetres. So cutting in half at 3 inches. Okay, and that's because these are 6x6 pieces of paper. So let's make it nice and easy for ourselves. And then you're going to choose one of your bits and you're going to discard the other one in preparation for your bookmark later. So one of these is going to become your bookmark and the other one is going to become this card front. So decide which one you want. You might want one with more picture on it, less picture on it, depends how much stamping you're going to do. But we'll get the other one out of the way. Put it to one side with the rest of your blue cardstock that you just cut off, so that you don't lose it. Get that to one side. And in terms of stamping, I am going to add, as I said before, some birds and some sailing boats. So to get birds and sailing boats, I am using this one that I know lots of you have got, which is the Sailing Home stamp set, because it's got a little group of 3 birds and it's got 2 different sizes of sailing boat in it, which I love. Although you could even put the lighthouse in actually, but I don't think I will. I think I'll stick with the birds. So I'm going to get out my birds and my sailing boats, and that's what I'm going to have. And sticking with the same colour scheme, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight, which is the blue. There is plenty of rich raspberry in here as well, so I could use the rich raspberry. But equally, if you don't have those colours, then a navy blue would be absolutely acceptable. So I'm going to start with my birds because they're at the top of the picture. I'm just going to tap, tap, tap on the ink. I'm literally just going to have some birds flying kind of randomly across the sky away from my picture. There we go. And then I am going to have a small sailboat at the top of my picture and a larger sailboat in the foreground. And I will be delighted to see what everybody, what stamps everybody uses, and how you will make the picture come together. Because I think it's going to create a really different scene depending on what stamps everybody chooses and what kind of scene they create from this. So if you haven't got sailboats, but you do, I don't know, animals or houses or trees or something completely different, then it will turn out very differently. So it's quite exciting to see what everybody makes. For those of you who've not done this class before as well, if you're a first timer here, on a Sunday, I do a prize draw for yet more raffle prizes. But the people who go into the raffle on a Sunday night are anyone who has shared a photograph of what they've made either tonight or before Sunday night that is from this class. So if you're making tonight, if you're making these cards and these projects as we go along, then take a photograph afterwards on your phone or whatever. Doesn't have to be, you know, mega professional or anything. Just take a photo, and then if you could, I will put a post in the Facebook group afterwards, with some photos of my projects, and then you can share your photos underneath in the comments. Anyone who shares a photo in the comments will go into the prize draw to win a raffle prize on Sunday night. So there we go. So that's my stamped scene. And you can see, if I bring in the other piece of patterned paper, look how it changes that pattern from a beautiful, lovely watercolour wash, but all of a sudden it's a landscape and it's got activity and there's things going on and it's really interesting and you want to know who's in that house and who's on the shoreline looking out for these little boats and things. It just transforms it, doesn't it, with just a little tiny bit of simple stamping. And probably not something you would think of doing on a patterned piece of paper either, because I think I look at patterned paper and I think, oh, I shouldn't mess with that. You know, it's just beautiful as it is. I should leave it. I shouldn't fuss with it. But actually you can, and you can add, and it makes it look lovely. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to cough. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so this one doesn't have a matte layer. It's gone flat down on the card. So I am just going to use some seal or snail or whatever you've got, or tape or glue or whatever. And it is just going with an equal border at the top and the sides, at the top of that card. There we go. And then on my original one, as you can see, I've added in a sentiment as well. It's a sentiment from the same set. Set sail in the direction of your dreams. And all I've done is added a little bit of ribbon underneath. So you've got this ribbon in your kit. It is the blue denim ribbon. You've got rather a large piece that looks like this. So all I've done is kind of looped it back like that. Looped the ribbon back on itself and then snipped the ends at an angle. And stuck that behind, so stuck it onto the card before I've added my sentiment. Nothing fancy, nothing flash whatsoever. So that's all I've done. You can obviously use as much or as little of the ribbon as you want. You can do whatever you want with the ribbon. Don't be tempted to use too much of this beautiful denim though, until you've made our next project, which is going to be the bookmark, because the tails of the bookmark are made with the denim ribbon. Okay, so you might want to, if you want to make the bookmark, you might want to make the bookmark first and then add your sentiment and your ribbon behind it. Okay, so that is project number 2. Let me put the, I'm not going to do the sentiment on that one now for the sake of time, so that we can get through all of the projects. So I'm just going, I'll leave those there actually, and we'll have another raffle prize, shall we? And take it that nobody who's joined us at the moment has number 470. If you've just joined us and you've got 470, please shout now, because you are missing out on an amazing prize. Okay, let's have another one. The next one is number 475. So if you've got 475, let me know, shout now. I want to give you a prize. Please tell me if you've got 475. And again, I'm just going to have a little bit of a tidy up a minute. As I should probably take a photo of what my desk looks like after we finish today, because it is absolute carnage here. It's like there's going to be an enormous crafter math afterwards. Liz, amazing, fantastic. I love it when people are actually here to give prizes to. Cool. Right, okay, so you can choose. You have the choice of a whole pack of the papers, the New Horizons papers, the Art in Bloom stamp set, or the slimline envelopes. Which prize would you like? And you get a pack of the wonderful papers to go with it. So which one would you like? There we are. That's fine. That was 475, wasn't it? So Liz, which one would you like? Let's get a bit of tape so I stick it to the right prize. The papers, okay. So you've got the New Horizons papers and the stack. Oh my goodness, Liz, you're going to be papered forever. There we go. Cool, so those two belong to you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I am incredibly happy. That is brilliant. Good. Okay. All right then. So let's move on to the bookmark, shall we? Let's get that one out of the way. Let's find the bookmark so that we can use the other half of what we've just started with. So there we go. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see the tails and everything, but if I start at the top, so this is the top half of the bookmark. Lovely long bit of that beautiful denim ribbon tied up with the another one of the ribbons you've got in the pack, which is from the New Horizons suite. It comes as a double pack actually. So you get a Misty Moonlight ribbon and this, I think it's called, actually I can't remember what it's called, what colour it is, and I can't even find the catalogue under the craft and math here to be able to tell you. Oh, there it is. Hold on one moment. Let me have a look. These things are always important. So the denim ribbon, if you love the denim ribbon, that is, it's part of the Heart and Home suite actually on page 59. So there it is, number 4. Denim ribbon, £6.50 for 10 yards or 9 metres. There it is. The petal pink, that's right. So this thin ribbon comes in a double pack. So you get a reel of Misty Moonlight and a reel of petal pink. You get 5 yards or 4.6 metres of each one on 2 separate spools for £8.25. So that's on page 43 if you're looking for that. Okay, right. So this is the card we're going to make next. The bookmark that we're going to make next. So it's made using the rest of that piece of Misty Moonlight card and that other piece of patterned paper that you chopped off just now. And you need a bit of background as well. So the background is going to come from a piece of petal pink. That's your matte layer underneath, okay? Excuse me, with a croaky throat. Okay, yeah, so that's your matte layer there underneath. Okay, so let me go back to my book and give you the dimensions again. So let's start with the Misty Moonlight, the blue layer, which is the whole kind of base of the whole base of the bookmark. So it is the whole width of the A4 again. So that's the length of your bookmark, is the whole width of A4. And it is 8.6 centimetres or 3 3/8 wide. So 3 3/8 of an inch wide or 8.6 centimetres wide. So you've got a tiny little bit left that you can make something else with. Okay. And while we're here, let's cut the matte layer as well, shall we? And then that's all our cutting done and out the way. So the matte layer is 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches or 8 centimetres by 15.2 centimetres. So I'm going to cut it in inches. So 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches, which is right on the end there. And then again, you've got a couple of little bits left over that you can do something else with. And you should find that your patterned paper that you've already cut fits perfectly with a little border around the outside, look. And then that is going to go on to your bookmark with a little tiny bit of blue border. Oop, just a little bit. And then that's your 3 layers achieved there. Okay, so let's start with the stamping, shall we? So let's get the bits of card out the way and start with the stamping. So this time I've used a different stamp set from the mini catalogue again. One that we used for anybody who came to the Tulips and Windmills workshop. We used this one, Tulip Fields. Dimensions, absolutely Amber. So you want the full width of the A4 card, and you're cutting it at 8.6 centimetres or 3 3/8 of an inch. So your base, this piece, your blue base, is the full width of the A4, 8.6 centimetres or 3 3/8 of an inch. That's that one. And then your matte layer is 3 inches by 6 inches. No, that's your pattern paper, forget that. 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. Or 8 centimetres by, no, wrong way, 8 centimetres by 15.2 centimetres. So let's do that one again for the matte layer. So 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches, or 8 centimetres by 15.2 centimetres. Okay? Okay. So card out of the way, let's look at the stamping. Yeah, so for this one, you know how I said I thought that this scene could have buildings on the shore instead. So on my bookmark that I made first time, I've got a windmill standing on the shoreline, and then I've got some clouds instead of the birds in the sky. And that's because I was using this Tulip Fields. But equally, you could have, I mean, there's trees in this set as well. So you could have trees on the shoreline. You could have more sailing boats or rowing boats or whatever you want. Whatever you want, really. So I'm going back to, get those out of the way. I'm going to have another windmill again, and again I'm stamping in Misty Moonlight, but navy, Night of Navy or something like that would be absolutely fine. Let's get a couple of blocks in. So I'm going to start, when I'm doing lots of stamping, whether it's on card or on patterned paper, if it's possible to, I find it helpful to start at the top and work down so that I don't then lean on it and smudge it. Easier said than done, I appreciate. But if you can do that, then it is quite helpful. So I'm going to start with my clouds. You don't have to be too precise. Nice when some of your stamping goes off the edge as well. That looks quite nice and quite professional. So don't be afraid to let that happen. So I've got 2 slices of cloud in this particular suite. And in this stamp set, so I'm going to use them both. Could have had birds if I wanted, but as it's a windmill, seems fitting to have some weather formation in there. And then this set, so if you did the windmills and flowering fields workshop with me, the tulips and everything, then this is the stamp set that comes with this suite. And you've got beautiful die cut windmills, so you could add a die cut actually to this, that would be nice too. But you've also got these this stamped windmill as well. Just making sure I've got enough ink on my windmill, on my sails. And I'm just going to line it up with the bottom of the windmill with kind of where I think the top of the lake comes. And again, I'm just going to hold it down for a few minutes to let that ink soak in before I lift it off. There we go. So I really want that image to be nice and crisp and strong. And that is all the stamping I'm going to add to that one. And then it's just a case of layering it all up. So I'm going to put some seal again on the back of my picture. on the back of my landscape that I just created. And yep. And the same again. And then we'll finish it off by doing the top of the bookmark. So I'm going to line it up with the bottom. Excuse me, frogs in the throat. Yeah, I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the card so that I've got plenty of room to do the top bit, which in this particular card I've curved the top edges and punched a hole in the top for the ribbon. That was using a punch, which is actually retiring, so I've taken it out of my drawer already. So this time, instead of doing that, I'm just going to use a really simple hole punch on the top to make the hole in the top of my bookmark. I am going to measure it on the grid paper, kind of, so I know roughly where the middle is. I think it's about there, actually. I'm even going to mark it. This is really unlike me. I do everything by sight normally. I'm not a precise crafter in the sense that lots of you are. But let's get all the bits out of there. See, I've got a lot of bits in there. It's not gonna. I don't think that is going to cut very cleanly if it's stuffed full of paper. Right, like that. Look. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to literally punch a hole for my ribbon. You don't need a fancy hole punch for this because you're going to be covering it up with the ribbon. So, okay. So let's go back to our ribbon. So you need the denim ribbon and that lovely thin strip. You won't have very much of this because I was literally running out when I got to the end of making all the packs up this time. So you've got enough, but not gallons. And I didn't do anything fancy with the ribbon either because I'm going to tie a bow around it. I literally just threaded it through. Make the ends as long as you want them to be. There should be plenty of ribbon for you to be able to have plenty left over for whatever you want to do with it, with the previous card that we just made. Do something else with it after, whatever. Cut your ends off at a slant so you get a nice finish to the ribbon. Get rid of that excess back in the bag, so I've got it to use on that other card in due course. And then all I did was I just laid out my petal pink ribbon over the top and then tied around it. So I find it is easier to tie a knot first. And I'll tell you another trick, which you will only know if you analyse how you tie bows yourself. And I've got a theory on this, okay, so this will give you a good laugh. So when I tie a bow, the tail ends of my bow, if I just tied a bow now, the tail ends will always end up here. Now, why that is slightly a mystery, although I have been told that I tie bows backwards. And I think it's when I was probably taught to tie my shoelaces, possibly sitting as we do with children, in front of them, kind of mirror image. And so I mirror imaged, learned how to tie bows, I think. And that's possibly why I tie my bows backwards. So when I tie a bow and I want the tails to go down, I turn it upside down and then I tie the bow. Yep. And it is fiddly with this little string, a little bit of ribbon, to make my ends then come down nice and neat below. So they poke out the right way. And again, I'm just going to chop the ends off Ooh, my goodness, that one went a bit haywire, didn't it? I'm going to chop the ends off at a bit of an angle and get rid of those little bits. So that you've got the ends of your bookmark. So yeah, as I said, if you want to do something fancy to the corners, I know lots of you have got, and I've had it in the past, corner punches, corner rounders, those kind of things, then you know, feel free, you can do something like that with them. That's what I've done with this one. I've rounded the corners using a punch. You can just cut the corners off at an angle if you want, or you can just leave it square like that one, like mine. And that is your bookmark made. So that is project 4 cards, 1 slimline card, that's 5. This is project number 6. Wow. We're going some tonight, aren't we? I know we have cheated slightly because we haven't made the four cards, but even so, I think that's doing pretty well. Okay, how are you all doing? Talk to me. Are you keeping up? Has anybody given up? Everybody understanding the instructions at the very least so that you can go back to it later if you want to. Is everybody okay out there in Craftland? Please tell me. Oh, we've got some tears. We've got some thumbs up, some hearts. Okay, bit of a mixture then. If you're the person who sent the tears, because I can't see who's sending what, or the sad faces, then let me know if there's something that you want me to repeat, or you think that I've done, you know, you've got lost or whatever. Don't forget, you're fine, thank you, good. And Sheena's got stars in her eyes, so that's cool. Yeah, don't forget that the videos stay in the Facebook group forever. So you can always come back to this video. When you come back to it, you can pause it and rewind it. You can pause it, make what you want to make, cut what you want to cut, and then press play again. But also, if you can't find it in the Facebook group, it's on the YouTube channel. As soon as I finish my card clubs, unless like at the mini make last time, there was exceptional circumstances because we were going away the next day. But I download the video straight away, and by tomorrow morning, it should be live in YouTube, on my YouTube channel, where all my videos are. So you'll be able to find most videos. I think there's a few at the very beginning that I didn't put on YouTube, but everything else we've ever done in card clubs and mini makes and anything and everything. The only thing that doesn't go on YouTube is Coffee Club, and that's because it's a more in-person experience. So it's on Zoom, and I don't want other people to have to be on YouTube if you don't want to be. So I don't record those ever. But all of these are in YouTube as well, so you can always pause, rewind, go back, whatever you want to, and go back to them, or remake a card maybe at any time that you want to in the future. Okay, cool. So bookmark done. Let's go on to, we'll save our last draw prize, I think, till the end. Let's go on to this little beauty, which is your concertina card. So it's designed to fit in the slimline envelope, the other slimline envelope. And it's just literally a little zigzag look. It's really easy to score and fold up. And if you haven't already spotted it, it uses one whole sheet of your beautiful patterned paper. So one complete sheet, and then we're going to chop it into 3 panels. So really simple to do. Okay, but we're going to start with the base, which is that thick white cardstock. Okay, so let's put that one up out the way. So when you were rummaging around finding your white card earlier on, it's the thicker piece that you want now, that thick white cardstock. And we're going to cut again, if I can find the measurements, which I have written down. Here we are. So we want a base card that is 9 inches by 6¼ Now, I apologise for this because I should also say, so this card is a card that I've cased, I've copied and shared, as I'm sharing with you, from a really wonderful stamping friend of mine who's also a demonstrator down in Southampton, called Sally Bowman. So the measurements are Sally's and they're all in inches, I'm afraid. So I'll apologise now. I don't know what the centimetre conversion is, I'm afraid. So they are all in inches. So if anybody wants to type them into the comments as we go along, what the centimetre conversion is, then feel free and I'll try and go nice and slowly. So the card base is 9 inches by 6¼ inches to start with. So you need the 6¼ from the short side of your A4 and the 9 inches from the long side of your A4, because your A4 is not long enough otherwise. So 9 inches long with the long side at the top. There we go. This piece you don't need, so you can put it to one side, use it as a bookmark, whatever you want to do. And then 6¼ inches wide. And if you've got the stamping trimmer, it's that very, very last mark. The very last. You don't need that bit either, so you can get rid of that. Okay. And then you want to get your cutting blade out of the way. So let me see, actually, if I can find my ruler, I may be able to do the conversion as we're going along, possibly. Let's see if you agree with me. Who's going to go? Oh, Amber, fabulous. I knew I could rely on you. Oh, you're wonderful. There you are. Amber's putting the measurements in the chat as we're going along. So if you're in centimetres, it's 22.8 centimetres by 15.8 centimetres. Fab, fab, fab. If you're in inches, it's 9 inches by 6¼ inches. Okay. Once you've got that, with the long side at the top, you're going to be scoring at 2¼ inches. Let's do that one first. So scoring at 2¼ inches, and then move the card along to 4½ inches. So you're scoring every 2¼ basically. And then 6¾ inches. I'm going to put the arm out again. 6¾ inches. Oh no, she's got a correction there, folks. 22.9 by 15.9. It's a centimetre out. I think it's probably not going to matter that much. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so when you're scoring, let's go back to the scoring again. So with the long side at the top, you are scoring at 2¼ 4½ and 6¾ inches. So scoring every 2½ inches. Okay. Then once you've got your card base to look like that with 3 score lines down it, so you then have 4 panels, which is what your card is made from, obviously, you can put that piece to one side and we will come back to it. And from your pack, you are going to need your final piece of cardstock, which is this colour, and I can't even remember what this colour is. It is, hold on, let me have a look. It is soft succulent, would it be? I think it's soft succulent. Yes, it is soft succulent. Cool, thank you, Amber. So if you're in centimetres, you're scoring, yeah, you're right, soft succulent. If you're scoring on centimetres, you're scoring at 5.7, 11.4 and 17.1 centimetres if you are scoring in centimetres. And the reason I'm reading this out, I know you can see it in the comments if you're live with me, but if you're watching on YouTube, you won't have the comments, the benefit of the comments, so that's why I'm reading it out to you. So if you're scoring, if you're measuring in centimetres and you haven't done the score lines on your card base yet, you're scoring at 5.7, 11.4 and 17.1 centimetres. Okay, So the next thing we need to do is to do the matte layers. So if you look at my picture panels and the white panel as well, you've got a little matte layer of soft succulent all the way around the outside. So we will do matte layers next. Now, you don't have to do matte layers, obviously. You could put the patterned paper directly onto the panels if you want to. So if you want to save this soft succulent for something else, for another card, do that if you want to. That's absolutely fine. But if you're going to put contrast card panels on, then you need 4 panels, and they all measure 6 1/8 of an inch by 2 1/8 of an inch. So 6 1/8, I'm going to do it this way, I think. So 6 1/8 of an inch, get rid of that bit, by 2 1/8 of an inch. And you obviously need 4 of them for your 4 panels. There we go. Okay. I'll just give you a minute to catch up with that a moment while I just try and find a little bit of white card. Go in there? Yeah, it should do. Okay. So your 4 panels of soft succulent, if you're doing them, are 6 1/8 of an inch by 2 1/8 of an inch. And I'm sure in a moment Amber's going to shove those measurements, they're a bit more tricky to measure, I should think, into the chat in centimetres. So I'll hang on while she does that before I give you the measurement, the final measurement for the piece of white card. There we go. Thank you very much. So you want 4 pieces of contrast card. If you're measuring in centimetres, it's 15.5 centimetres by 5.4 centimetres. Okay. If I've got time ever, I might go back through the chat and write all this out into a PDF for you, but I have to say it won't be anytime soon. Anyway, you also need a piece of white card to go down that final panel on your card where I've got my thanks. So I am going to use one of the pieces that we cut off. And you need that piece to measure 6 inches by 2 inches. So let me cut that off. 6 inches by 2 inches. Or it very nearly is. It's an absolute sliver that you cut off the side if you're using one of your discarded bits. In fact, it's such a sliver, it probably would have been better if I'd have done it with scissors, because now it's all fluffy down the edge. And that is not because I need a new blade, because I only just changed it. Not because it's such a sliver that I had to cut off. There we go. Probably shouldn't have bothered to cut it off in the first place. Sometimes it's better to just leave things, isn't it? Even if they are just slightly a tiny bit too big. Anyway, so that is your panel for your greeting or whatever you want to put on there, and your sentiment and stuff, okay? Okay, we are going to need the trimmer again in a moment to cut up the patterned paper into panels, but we want to stamp on the panels first before. We want to stamp on it as one whole sheet and then chop it up into the panels, okay? Because you want your picture to look complete. You want it to be seamless. So things like the grasses that I've got at the bottom here, I wanted them to overlap the panels. The birds, I wanted them to overlap the panels. So it's important that you you stamp, you know, it complete and then split it up. Okay, so let's put those bits of card to one side as well and go back to our stack of patterned paper. Same as always, you can choose any pattern you like, but I am going to choose, if I can find the one that I've used, I'll show you what it looks like before I chopped it up and before there was any. Well, it had to be the last one, didn't it? So it's the one with probably the most yellow on it, I would say. So it's kind of got green, moorland, heathland looking kind of bit at the bottom, and then some beautiful kind of pink and orange and yellow sky. Well, I think it's sky going on. So that is the piece that I chose and used. And now I'm wondering, which on earth stamp set did I use for this? Because, okay, interesting. I cannot see the stamps anywhere. So I would imagine that this stamp set that I used on my original card is possibly now retired, because I've probably taken it out, in which case I'm going to have to create a whole new picture, which will be lovely. That'll be fun. Let's just have a quick look through. No, I think that the stamp set I must have used, I have to say, I designed these cards, and I made this card particularly because I cased it from Sally Bowman, as I said earlier. I made them ages ago, and so I think that these particular stamps are retired. As in, you know, they're going out of this catalogue now. So I'm going to use what I've got in front of me instead. So I am going to use the birds from my Sailing Home. Let's have those out again. And as there aren't any trees in Sailing Home, I am, do you know what, I might even have let's have a windmill and some trees. Why not? Let's have a windmill and some trees. I think the secret as well to this technique of stamping on the patterned paper is not to go too overboard with the stamping. So don't put too much stamping on because it can detract from the beauty that is the patterned paper, to be honest. And obviously that is not what you want. I would say, and also I think, the other thing that I would say is try to stick to one colour of ink on your whole image, on your whole design. Now, I know on the last one, for example, I did a blue windmill and blue clouds and bluebirds and blue, all those kind of things. And I'm going to do the same on here. Although maybe the windmill wouldn't be green, I'm going to stamp it all in green because I want it to all kind of pull together as a design. And I don't want it to detract from the beauty that is the patterned papers. So I'm even, get this, I'm going to do green birds as well. And I'm going to stamp it sort of roughly where I think the join might well come, because actually that's okay. That's kind of what I want. I want it to go across the panels so that that kind of holds the design together a little bit as well. That sounds really arty-farty, doesn't it? And a bit like a load of nonsense, but you'll see what I mean when you chop it up and put it back together again. It will make complete sense. Okay, so let's just think about where I'm going to have my images here. So I think I probably want some trees kind of around here, maybe a couple of trees, and then my windmill. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, right, let's stick the windmill on first. And like I say, I'm using garden green, but you could use any dark green. Evening evergreen is also part of this suite, so feel free. If you've got evening evergreen and that's your favourite colour, go for it. And try not to stick your finger in the ink like I have, so you don't get inky fingers all over your pattern paper. Which is a bit of a habit of mine at the moment, actually. Is it only me, or do other people go through phases of like being really clumsy with their crafting? Because I feel like at the moment I'm really quite a clumsy crafter. I seem to be dropping things a lot, and I seem to be, sticking my fingers in the ink loads. It's a bit pathetic, really, but I even had to wash my hands in the middle of making a whole load of cards the other day, a load of projects, because I'd made such a blooming mess with the ink that, yeah, all needed a bit of sorting out, really. Anyway, there we go. Okie dokie. Anything else I'd like along the bottom there, or is that going to be a bit overkill, I think? Because I could have a line of daffodils in the front here. Tulips at the front. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to resist. I'm going to listen to what I said earlier and have a less is more approach to the stamping, I think. Always clumsy. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad it's not just me then. I really was feeling a bit like all covered in ink, you know. Oh, Jodie's saying she always has more ink on my fingers than on the cards. Yeah, I know the feeling. I absolutely know the feeling. Right, okay, so once you've got your whole piece of paper stamped how you want it to be, now you're going to cut it vertically into 3 panels, okay? 3 equal panels. So your panels are going to measure 2 inches across. Each panel is 2 inches wide. So what's that, 5.4 centimetres, Amber, is that right? That should be 5.4, I think, isn't it? So, yeah, so trim her out and 3 panels 2 inches wide. No, not even 5.4. It looks like 5.1 on mine, actually. 5.1, I think, centimetres. There we go. So 3 panels 2 inches wide each. Oh, that little tiny bit of the windmill, but I love the fact that the birds have been chopped up across the panel. I love that the tree's chopped up. Love it, brilliant. Okay, so you've then got 5.08 if you're being picky. Oh gosh, there we go. Right then, so you want your 4 panels of soft succulent, and one of those panels is going to have your white card on top. So if you need to do stamping on your white panel, now is the time to stamp. I'm going to leave that one blank because I'm already a little bit covered in ink and I think I might make a mess tonight on camera. And then your other 3 patterned papers are going on top like that. So that is what you want to do next. And then all of those obviously is going to go on top of your concertina, okay? So you just have to go for it now with the glue. Just loads of glue, tape or whatever on everything. And I'm going to actually put them straight onto the, come on, I'm going to put them straight onto the actual card base as well. So the bit that we started out with, that lovely piece of thick white panelled paper, panelled card, haven't even, I've only scored it, I haven't even creased it yet. It's a very small margin around the outside. So you just need to be really careful when you line it up, but so it's an equal amount around each end, but I'm going to put them straight on so that I know which order my picture is in, and I make sure that my picture is in the right order, if you know what I mean, as it goes on the card. Otherwise, another bit of news I've got for you as well. Loving this card. Oh, Jodie, I'm so pleased. I love this card as well. I see so much possibility for this with some of the beautiful pictorial papers that we always have in the Stampin' Up catalogues, because we do have some gorgeous picture papers, don't we? And often you kind of don't want to chop them up because you don't want to lose the picture. This is a great way of keeping the picture, I think, and still making a fab card out of it. Yeah, so anyway, back to another bit of news I have for you. Those of you who are living fairly locally will know of, I'm sure, of a new venture that's set up in the middle of town called No Labels. No Labels is a mental health support charity, or mental well-being support charity, run by the fabulous Nikki Reed. They have asked me if I will go there and do some workshops for them as well. So that is really wonderful. They'll be open to anybody who loves to craft to to maintain their mental well-being, and because crafting makes them feel good and they want to join in, or they want to come and have a cup of coffee and a chat while they craft or whatever. So I will let you know as soon as I've got a date for that workshop. I'm hoping it will be the start of a great opportunity for me and them to kind of collaborate, really. So I've donated, probably told you this before, I've donated a load of my sample projects to them for them to use in whatever way works best for them in the shop, really, whether they are selling or whether they're giving those cards and projects away. Because I've given them some 3D projects and things as well that I've made, and some of the like gift bags and stuff we've done in the past that I end up with loads of, because I've got a sample and then I demonstrate it as well. And yeah, so I'm really excited to be working in partnership with them, and I will let you know as soon as I know any more details about that. We have a bit of an affinity, Nikki and I, because we're both occupational therapists, so that's really nice to be able to work with someone else kind of professionally as well. Okay, so that's my panel card. And now the only thing left to do, because I'm not going to stamp that bit for now, is to score and crease it. So I'm going to leave this one on the table so that you can see what it looks like. So for those of you who want the terminology, the craft terminology, you're making a W fold. So that's what it, because it looks like a W. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Or alternatively, you might call it, you can't see it, it's not in shot there. There we go. Oh, that's better. You might call it a valley, a mountain, and a valley, if you're super technical and clever. So I'm going to fold it inwards first. So picture to picture, and crease it will give me a valley. And then the next one comes over and comes up. So that will be a mountain. And finally, you get another valley on the end. So all the pictures, all the picture bits, when you fold it up, are touching each other. Yeah? So there we go. Don't know if perhaps they're better side by side. And that is project number 7. So I will let you finish that while I have a final slurp of my cup of tea, and then we will do another raffle prize. And I am aware that we are now past 9 o'clock, and that is fine, because the only other project left to do is the tag. And I'm pretty sure by now you've sussed out how to be able to do that. As I said, as we went along, all the skills will culminate in the tag really at the end. So the tag is made in exactly the same way as you've made all the other projects. Cutting out your pieces of background. So I've got a piece of background card. I've used a tag top punch. But if you don't have a tag top punch, why haven't you got a tag top punch? Get one. They're amazing. Because tags make fabulous toppers to cards as well as tags. Yeah, so if you've got a tag top punch them out using that, make your standard size tag or whatever suits you. Both patterned paper and the plain card on the back. Stamp what you want to stamp on the front, and then your little bits of ribbon. You've got some of this beautiful sheer bright pink ribbon, which I can't even remember what colour that is either. Don't think it's even one of the colours from the papers, but oh no, it is it? No, it isn't. Oh, polished pink. It's polished pink. It's the bright pink. I just love this ribbon. It's so pretty. And then a little bit of string. Now, you might find that you don't have enough of the petal pink baker's twine left to do this. So you might have to go back to the other one of the other ribbons to tie over, or you might need to double up your ribbon and hoop it through the hole in your kind of normal way, where you make a loop and then push it through in the same way that you would with tags we've made in the past. Or you might have a bit of baker's twine or something in your own stash that you can use to tie that off. But yeah, and then for me, I've glued the two tags together, but you could leave them to move if you wanted to. You don't have to glue them together. I've just glued them together because I just prefer it that way, really. And when it's been in and out of my stash where I've been taking photos of it and different things, I didn't want the holes at the top to kind of get frayed and stuff. So anyway, that's the final project, which I am going to leave you to do on your own. So that's our concertina card. Let's go back to the raffle. 2 raffle prizes left to choose. We've still got number 470. If you're 470 and you've just joined us, or you've just found your raffle ticket or whatever, let me know. If you're watching on the replay, you've got until the end of May to let me know if you are 470. And the sooner you let me know, the better, because then I can get your prize to you. Okie dokie. And the last raffle ticket tonight is 476. If you are 476, let me know, because I want you to choose a prize and I want you to win tonight. So 476 gets a stack of papers. And one of these two, either the slimline envelopes or the Art in Bloom stamp set. So if you're 476, let me know, please, now. How's everybody else getting on? If you've checked your raffle ticket, how are you getting on? Has everybody made any of the projects tonight? All of the projects? How are you doing? Have you enjoyed the stamping? Something different? Something we've not done before? We're certainly not done in this way before, so yeah, let me know. And I really hope that you've enjoyed the kind of double up month on the product side as well, and the amount of projects that we've done tonight. I hope has been fun. Got a horrible feeling that nobody's here for 470 or 476. So I'm just going to have to hang on to those. Brilliant cards all made. Oh, fab. Oh, Julie, brilliant. Thanks. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And Audrey, brilliant. Oh, that makes my heart happy. That does. Wonderful. I am super happy. Right then. Let's just turn the camera around a minute. If I can find the button. There we go. There we go. Ooh. I don't want to be sitting inside the camera. Let's move back a bit. Fab. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Brilliant. I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So you've got all the instructions there, as I said, either here in the Facebook page, if you've not got to finish everything tonight, or you can go onto YouTube from tomorrow and rewind and pause and whatever. You're welcome, Jodie. But don't forget, there is the bonus project. Ooh, where is it? To make the variegated panel card bonus project in YouTube. So you're welcome, Dee. Please go onto YouTube if you're a night owl later, or tomorrow. It's going to load up in a moment onto YouTube, so it might be there already actually. Excuse me. So you've got it there to do extra things with your papers. So I've got still an enormous stack of papers left, and I'm sure you have too. So there should be loads of things you can make with that, and I would love to see what you make with them. So if you have a go at making something completely different, please send me photos or post photos. I would love to see it. Okay, talking of posting photos, don't forget, I will put a post in the Facebook page here in a moment. Thanks, Mum. I will put a post in a minute. As soon as I've stopped this video, with some photos of the cards, so you'll be able to identify that that's the right post. And a thank you for tonight. And if you have made the projects tonight, or if you're going to make the projects before Sunday tea time, please take photos and share them in the group, because it's so lovely for everybody to see what everyone else's take on a card is. Because even if you use the same stamps, if you position them slightly differently, or if you use different colours, inks and things like that, then it comes out with a totally different picture and a totally different image, and it gives us all ideas. You know, in Craftland we love to case, we love to copy and share everything. So if you share, then other people can learn from you and other people can share as well. So that's really wonderful, and that's what this group's all about. It's all about, you know, that crafting community and all kind of learning and having fun together. You're welcome, Sheena. So if you have so if you post before Sunday night, your name will go into the draw. Doesn't matter whether you post a photo of one card or all your cards. Your name will go into the draw, and I will have another double up, don't forget, double up raffle prize. So that's 2 raffle prizes for 1 ticket on Sunday as well. What else have I got to say? If you've joined me and you've not been with me over the last few months, or you've not done any crafting during COVID and stuff, and you know you've enjoyed this evening, I hope you have, because I know we've got some lots of extra returners as well as new people here tonight. So I really hope you'll come back another month. That would be lovely. Everybody on the mailing list will be getting an email tomorrow morning. It's already set up, ready to go, with the details of May's card club, monthly card club, where we will be back to the normal 4 projects, but they will be all brand new projects using brand new kit from the new annual catalogue, which is out next week. So really exciting. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. I've just made up the coffee club packs for my coffee clubbers, and we've got a beautiful tea boutique card to make, so that will be coming out to people soon as well. If you're here for the sale on Saturday, that'll be lovely. If you fancy just dropping in for a cup of tea and a piece of cake and look at new projects from the new catalogue and collect your new catalogue pack, then please come and do that too. That would be fabulous too. Yeah, from 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, I'd love to see people. That'd be wonderful. That's probably everything I've got to say. I think that's probably enough to say, really. I think not sure my throat's going to last too much longer. Might be completely unable to speak by Saturday, which will be a lovely quiet morning for everybody. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.